Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Gresser. I am here today to read you a story. And the story is called Where the Wild Things Are. And in this story, you're going to meet some of my little friends here. This is one of the wild things. This is another wild thing. And this is Max in his wolf suit. He's got a costume on. And this here is a globe, and a globe is something that shows you the world, all the different continents and all the oceans. And right there, up there in that corner is where we live in the United States, in Lawrence, and we're up in that corner. So this light here makes this globe spin. Isn't that kind of cool? So we're going to read a story about Max, who creates his own world. And so here we go. Where the Wild Things, story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind or another. Mischief, that means he made trouble. He was doing things maybe he shouldn't have been doing. And in this picture, you can see that he's got a hammer and he's nailing something to the wall. And what is that face? It looks like a mad face. He looks angry, I think. And he's made more mischief. Look at him following that little dog with a fork, and it looks more than following, doesn't it? He's chasing him, and he has kind of a wild face on him, doesn't he? Well, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. He was being rude to his mother, wasn't he? And that's his bedroom right there. There's his bed. And there he is, looking pretty mad. Here he is, Max. Here he is in his wolf suit. Here he is in his wolf suit. And he's looking mad. You see his tail? Yeah, he is a wolf right now. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. Wow. See the trees? And it grew. Oh, there's even more trees now. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the world became his room all around. So the vines came from the ceiling, right? And the walls of his room became like a forest. It became his world. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and they gnashed their terrible teeth, and they rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and he tamed them with the magic trick of staring into their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all. Here they are. They are very wild. They look pretty much like wild things, but they got scared of Max. He was able to calm them by staring into their eyes. That made him look pretty powerful to them. And they made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus begin. What's that? The wild rumpus was having some fun and dancing in the moonlight. See all the smiles on the wild things? Look at this. They were dancing and now they're swinging from trees. I think they're really enjoying their new friend, Max. And there he is, the king, riding on the back of one of the wild things. Now stop, Max said. And he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely. And he wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. He looks sad, right? The wild things look happy. They're sleeping, right? But Max isn't happy. Maybe that's why he kind of snapped at them, because he was feeling kind of sad. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. They were mad, right? They didn't want him to go, but he wanted to go home. So he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night, into his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. And that's the end of the story. We met a wild thing, we met Max, and we met another wild thing. And we learned what? What did we learn? We learned, let's think about it. We learned that Max really wanted to be home with the people who loved him most of all. And even though his mother made him mad when she got angry with him, and he wanted to escape, and he did, right? He created his own world. But it wasn't enough. He really wanted to be with the people who loved him most of all. The wild things did learn to love him, didn't they? But he really wanted to be back home where people loved him most of all. And that's where you guys are now. You're home. We're all home with the people that love us most of all. So we can't go out and see our friends because we have to be careful not to get anybody sick. But we are where people love us most of all. And that's something to think about when you're feeling frustrated or mad or angry or sad or scared. You're with the people who can take care of you, and you're with the people who love you most of all. I hope everyone has a good day. Bye.